welcome back to the channel. If you are wondering why we have a video about cross-country bike rides on this channel, well, last summer, John and I rode bicycles from coast to coast in support of first responders. And so we're excited to share these videos. We're excited that you're here watching. So thanks for coming back to the channel and watching. And today, we are on day number 22. What day is it, John?
I think it's day 22.
Day 22. It's June
5th?
June 5th.
Yes.
And we are riding out of Heart 6 Ranch. Remember last episode we talked about Heart 6 Ranch? We had a great, relaxing time
really
there.
Nice. Yes, it was.
And what was your favorite part about Heart 6 Ranch?
I kind of liked, well, the view that one night was spectacular. Looking at, what was that?
The Tetons?
Tetons. Without clouds blocking the view,
Yeah,
it was gorgeous.
Fantastic.
But the neat thing was when they let the horses out in the evening, and when they brought them in the morning. Probably out was the better part, because you saw them going out there running through the field.
They were excited.
All
They were
excited
going.
and flying.
Yeah.
Some of the mules were kind of meandering, but they were too busy watching for bears, So. But it was really nice place.
Yeah. I just felt it was just such a peaceful place and just relaxing.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one afternoon I just kind of sat down and just, looked at the mountains and just relaxed and went on a little hike down the road.
Yep.
It was fantastic. But so the morning of June 5th was a beautiful morning.
Oh, yeah, it was gorgeous.
Gorgeous weather. We had breakfast there at the
restaurant there?
At the restaurant. Mm-hmm. By the way, it's about $50 for two people for breakfast.
Yeah, it's not really cheap, but it was.
But it was good. It was good breakfast. So
but
two thumbs up for the breakfast.
Expensive.
Yes. But hey, we are close to Jackson.
That's true.
At least we're not paying $800 a night for a room.
That's true. That's true.
Like
That's
we do
true.
in Jackson. We had a big day that day. We had a big climb ahead,
mm-hmm.
and I think if I remember, it's about 15 miles.
Wow.
Or so up to the top of Togety Pass. Beautiful day. We can go down the path, up the pass. There's Big Mike. Go out of the ranch, out to the main highway, and then up. But then we stopped at the ranger station.
Yeah, at the base of the climb.
There was a ranger station there, and we had already decided we're going to stop there and see if we can offload some of our gear.
Yep, right on the handlebars.
So we had on our handlebars, we had sleeping bags and tents on the back, and we were going to say, hey, can we offload this? Can we leave it at the ranger station?
Yeah.
And have Joe and Yvonne, our support crew, in the sag wagon, in the RV, in the Lighthouse Health and Wellness RV.
Yes.
What did you call it?
A hostel, I believe.
A hostel. Yes. Our
Sorry,
hostel.
Joe.
Our mobile rolling hostel.
Yes.
So we finally convinced the ranger there at the ranger station to take our stuff. And he said, as a ranger, I can't do that. But I forget his name. Sorry about that. I'll call him Joe. As Joe, I can do that.
I was thinking Joe too. Maybe it was Joe.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
So they took our sleeping bags and our tents.
Yep.
Offloaded a lot of weight. So then as we were standing there talking to this guy, there was another guy who rode by. We saw him.
Yep.
And we ended up catching up with him, and his name was Max.
Yes, it was.
We stopped a little over halfway up at there was like a visitor center, or there was a store there, a lodge, Togety Lodge, and we had lunch there. And that's where we met Max.
Yes.
And we ended up, Max joined us for the rest of the trip that day.
And right. And even through that,
even to the next day. Yep. But anyway, what did you think about that climb of Togety Pass?
The fact that we unloaded everything, we were expecting something similar to what we climbed in the past.
Like Like Lolo Pass.
Like Lolo Pass.
Yeah.
Nasty climb.
Switchbacks, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
and just a killer. But this was not that kind of climb. It was actually an easy climb, really.
9,600 feet was the top elevation, 96 and change.
What was the steepest grade? Like 6.5%?
6%.
6%?
Yeah.
So it wasn't a bad
It
climb.
wasn't that bad of a climb.
No.
Yeah, buddy. Woohoo! So we got to the top, stopped to take the obligatory picture, but all along the way, what did we see all along the way that gave us a warning?
Warning bears.
It said, don't stop to look at the bears.
They thought we apparently took pictures, selfies in Yellowstone, like some people have.
Well, I have to say that the day before, I was talking to one of the staff members at the ranch, and she showed me video of her. She had been to up that pass in the car, and she showed me video of 2 grizzly bears right next to the highway.
Yeah.
The day before.
Day before, we were heading right up there.
We were heading right up there. So the signs were apropos. The signs were there for a reason. Well, we were like, okay, we're pedaling our bikes. What do we do if we can't stop to look at the bears?
Pedal faster than him.
Pedal faster than him. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately,
Fortunately, it's probably the way.
we didn't see any bears.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see some, at a distance.
Exactly.
With my hand on the trigger of the
Camera.
The camera, but the bear spray.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we didn't see any bears, but we made it to the top of the pass. It was a nice day. It was chilly up there, but 9,600 feet in elevation. And then it was all downhill all the way to Dubois. Booked a hotel, and I didn't realize this, but I booked a hotel with 3 beds. And I was like, well, we don't need the extra bed, but but then we did.
Yeah.
Because we had invited Max to stay with us. And
Exactly.
Max was able to, he was like used to sleeping in tents, So he ended up having dinner with us that night, stayed with us at the hotel. And then the next morning.
Good morning, everybody. This is Conrad and John and our new friend Max coming to you from Dubois, Iowa.
Wyoming.
We're not quite in Iowa yet. Getting an early start. John and I have a long day today. We met Max yesterday on the climb over the big hill, and he rode with us the rest of the day and stayed with us last night. And he's going to go off to where?
Lander, Wyoming.
And he's also doing coast to coast, but doing the Trans Am Trail.
Correct.
And heading down south into Colorado. And maybe we'll catch up with him later on the East Coast.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. So it's great to have Max with us today and yesterday. And John and I will be heading east across Wyoming over to Riverton.
So it's June 6th, day 23.
Yes.
Getting close to halfway.
Yes, it is. It's hard to believe.
We had a big day today. This was 81 miles.
Long ride.
Long ride. We had been in Dubois. And interestingly enough, we had twice as many feet downhill as we had up that day. We had over 3,300 feet downhill.
Right.
So it was a easy 81 miles.
That's true. That's true.
So, but we started out, Max was with us. He had stayed with us the night before. We went to stop at this restaurant for breakfast, and outside the restaurant, there was this tandem bike.
It was a nice bike. I mean, a heavy-duty frame.
Heavy-duty frame.
Loaded
Obviously, they were going somewhere because they was all loaded up. Well, we met these folks then, and it was a couple, and I'll share their Instagram page. It is at @tandem_beyond. Check them out. So Louis and his wife they're from Colorado.
Right.
And they were riding coast to coast on a tandem bike.
Right. Exactly.
And let me tell you, when you have two motors on a bike, they cruise.
They cruise big time.
We were going downhill.
Yes.
And I think we maybe even had a tailwind that day. But these guys, so they just took off. And Max, young, fit guy, he had a hard time keeping up with them.
Yeah,
Us old guys, there was no chance. There was no chance that we were going to keep up with them. So we just waved goodbye and they went on.
We just let them go. But we did run into them a little later.
Yeah. Friends like those. But a few miles out of town, we ran into some trouble.
200 yards here.
In the form of a road that had been, what's the word? Chewed up.
Chewed up, getting ready to resurface.
Getting ready to resurface. They had gotten that big machine that chews up the road.
And doesn't chew it up nicely either.
And we thought, it'll probably just be over the hill here.
Yeah, just up this grade.
Up the grade.
Fine.
It was rough, and it was like doing this thing over the, 15 miles of
15
this.
miles, and it was constant, just shaking the whole time.
15 miles of shaking.
It was crazy. And it lasted a long time.
But that brought us then to the town of Kinnear.
Right.
Well, I call it a town.
Yeah, a little
It
village.
had a gas station.
Right. Gas station, restaurant, mini mart.
All of the above.
Yeah.
But the cool thing there, we met some people there, and this is part of this bike ride that was always amazing, was meeting the people. And we struck up a conversation with the woman who runs the place, and the old gentleman sitting there talking to her.
Very nice people.
Very nice. And they both happened to be paramedics or EMTs.
Right.
They ran the ambulance, volunteers. And so I was like, well, this is in Wyoming, so I have some friends at a ranch just south of there. And I said, hey, do you guys know the O'Tooles? And they were like, of course we know the O'Tooles. They're like the most famous ranchers in Wyoming. So we had common friends. Here we are thousands of miles from home. I meet total perfect strangers. And I met some friends, some people who knew friends of mine. It's a small world.
Yes, it is.
And
Yes,
we enjoyed talking with them about their experiences as paramedics, as EMTs. And so we were able to share my documentary on the Blu-ray disc. I gave them a copy of that. And so I hope you guys are doing great there in this little town of Kinnear. But then we rode all the way down to Riverton. It was an easy ride, and actually the last, I think, 4 miles was all downhill.
Yeah, we hardly had to pedal at all.
Just hardly had to pedal, just down the hill, all the way. We stayed at the Holiday Inn that night.
Right. No headwind. It was just
No
nice,
headwind,
nice
just
ride.
downhill, beautiful. And had to ride through town to get to our hotel.
Right.
But yeah, I remember it was just a really fantastic day. Beautiful day, beautiful scenery, Wyoming scenery.
Beautiful. It was gorgeous.
Can't beat the Wyoming scenery.
See the picture of the video, you'll know what we're talking about.
So anyway, end of day number 23. That's Riverton.
Good morning, everybody. It's Conrad and John.
Yep.
Where are we at, John?
Let's see. We are in
Riverton.
Riverton. Thank you.
Riverton, Wyoming. Today we're heading to the middle of nowhere, Wyoming.
Yes. Rest stop.
It's a rest stop.
Waltman US 20 rest stop.
It's just the wayside, beside the road rest stop.
Nothing
And
fancy.
Joe and Yvonne, our support crew from Lighthouse Health and Wellness, are going to meet us there with the RV. We hope to be able to stay there for the night.
Yes.
And but hey, it's a beautiful day.
It is.
We hope to avoid the storms.
Yes.
Yesterday we avoided the storms, so we hope to avoid them today.
2 days in a row would be nice.
Yeah, 2 days in a row would be great. So off we go. We hope not to get into any construction today.
But it was a really nice ride all the way to Shoshone.
Right.
And that was our kind of our first stop. It was about 20 miles.
Yeah, it was like a mini mart gas station there. We stopped, got a coffee
Yeah.
and stuff.
And we kind of fueled up. And that was kind of our tradition, is to find those places to fuel up. And really the ride was really easy and gentle all the way to Shoshone. And then from Shoshone, we were going to ride all the way to the Waltman US 20 rest area.
Yeah, and there's like not much between Shoshone and the next town, which is Casper. And this rest stop is about it.
It was about halfway. So it was total about 69 miles to the rest stop. And as we left Shoshone, it was fairly flat.
Yeah.
Some just gentle grades. We kept noticing clouds forming to the north and to the south. Telling them we don't like that.
Gotcha.
But I think it's going that way.
Yep. Go on, cloud, get.
Go on, get.
Yeah.
And we looked at the radar like, they're way off.
Yeah.
Way down the road. And we rode out, but we did a smart thing, is we filled up our water bottles.
Yeah, we did.
Because we knew we weren't going to have any resources out there. Supposedly there was a town out there, but we'll tell you in a minute what that was.
Yeah.
But that was an amazing ride.
It was. I mean, it was It wasn't a hard ride.
It was not hard.
Very easy pedaling.
Easy.
And we were going pretty good clip trying to get ahead of them storms. But we did fill up our water in our canteen on our front forks. And
I think we bought some sandwiches too.
yeah, we did. We did buy some
Bought
sandwiches.
some sandwiches
You're
for
right,
lunch.
you're right.
And but it was once you get out of Shoshone, that's the last bit of civilization you're going to see for a very long time.
Right, an occasional car coming past you the other way.
Very occasional
Yeah,
car.
an occasional, even less coming around you. And but it was very peaceful.
Peaceful.
Very nice.
It was just a thought-provoking day.
Yeah, it was.
And I told John at one point, I said, if there's storms come, there's really no shelter out here, but occasionally there's like a cow walk that goes underneath the highway, that has a tunnel. Said, if a storm comes, we might have to go down one of them places.
Exactly.
Watch out for rattlesnakes. So we were riding along. We stopped for lunch in the town. What was this town, John?
A couple houses.
Maybe one house?
One house.
Surrounded by a couple fences.
Okay, a couple buildings. Surrounded by a fence.
Or two.
Or two.
And a dog.
And a dog and some signs, political signs. We won't say who or what. But they seemed to be kind of hiding from somebody. Or?
This gentleman lived out there in the middle of nowhere. We called him the grumpy old man.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a grumpy old man or not, but that's kind of what it seemed like.
Yeah, we kind of ate our lunch rather quickly.
Yeah.
Ate it and
got out of there.
got out of there.
But again, we kept our eyes on the storms.
Yeah.
On these storm clouds coming. And we
especially the one on towards the right.
Yeah,
trying
coming
to
from
get
the
ahead.
south.
Yeah. It was moving right along with us.
Yeah. And so we rode and we realized that there was literally no shelter out there. There's not even a tree.
No.
No houses, no barns, no nothing.
Brush, that was about it.
And these storms kept coming together toward the highway.
Right.
And at one point we were like, it really would be nice to kind of find a shelter someplace.
Something.
And way off in the distance, we saw this little building, just way, it's probably 5 miles away.
Yeah, it seemed to take
Took a while to get there.
We were pedaling pretty good and hard to get there.
And we finally got there, and it was like a highway department building.
Well, it's an interesting day. We're about 30 miles east of Shoshone, and bad storms are coming. Lightning down here and over here. And so we made the call to our support crew for a pickup. And they're going to pick us up here in about 30 minutes so we don't get hit by lightning. Could be pretty bad out here because there's literally nothing out here. There's for 40 miles. And so this building here looks like it belongs to an oil company. It's like the only thing out here. So we decided to stop here. At least we have some shelter one side or the other.
But as we were standing there kind of contemplating what to do, I was like, maybe it's time to call Joe.
And I was the one that happened to have 4 bars at this location with AT&T because he had Verizon. We figured we were covered. And so I called Joe.
Turns out Joe and Yvonne are about 30 minutes behind us, so they're going to come by here and pick us up.
We were like, oh, good. We need you to come pick us up. Okay, we'll be right there.
Yeah, we had about 16, almost 17 miles to go yet to our rest stop area.
Exactly.
And then we're going to go to the
Rest stop
out here.
Walton, US 20.
And I guess hang out the rest of the day. Or if we decide to go to Casper.
We could go to Casper.
Because who knows
We get an extra day of rest.
what storms may come tomorrow. So
True.
yeah, it's just part of the experience, but we don't want to get hit by lightning. We don't want to be caught in a storm because we've heard these storms can be pretty bad. Had bad hail out here recently, bad lightning.
And we're right on the edge of it.
And with no shelter at all out here. I mean, literally, this was the only building that we saw in the last 40 miles or 30 miles besides the little quote unquote town. This is the only building we saw. So here we are, waiting for a pickup.
And we were just literally going to sleep in the RV at the rest stop that night and then go on to Casper the next day. And so as 45 minutes later or so, they showed up, we got into the RV and it wasn't 10 minutes before the rain and the wind and the lightning hit us. The lightning didn't hit us, but it hit poles next to the highway.
I mean, we had just loaded up, got on the road, and just went down the road a short distance, and all of a sudden, blam.
I mean, the RV was rocking.
Yep.
It was blowing hard. I mean, we would have been caught right in that.
Oh, yeah.
And during that time, I was just like, you know what? I think we just need to go all the way to Casper.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't like doing that because we were skipping ahead about 60 miles, but
True.
Safety first.
Right, and that storm was blowing.
It was brutal.
Went past that red stop. It was really coming down.
It was brutal. It was, yeah. We went right past the. I remember that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's the rest area.
Yeah, we're not stopping.
We're like, yeah, we're not stopping there. And so we ended up going all the way to Casper to the KOA.
Yeah.
And even at the KOA, there was storms coming.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was just some dark clouds that were coming, and I think we made the right choice. It really pained me to jump ahead that far because we were actually skipping ahead a whole day.
Right. And you hate to miss, you're trying to ride coast to coast, and it was hard to let that day go, but safety first.
It was a safety thing. I know we would have been in trouble if we'd have kept riding.
Right. And we had a schedule to keep.
Some
people ride coast to coast, they don't have a set schedule. We had places to be to do screening events.
We had to be in Scottsbluff in a few days for a screening event.
Right.
And so it was imperative that we, kept going. And I know, with the lightning and the wind, it would have been a really dangerous situation for us to get to, be in that storm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we made the right decision. So
yeah,
good job.
Definitely.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care of yourself. Get out there on a bike and take care of yourself. Make repairs. So our friend here is got a low tire. We're loading, getting him pumped up.
50, 60 is where I want to be.
Heading up there. 9,600 feet elevation.
This is a workout.
No, I got it.